Welcome back to Nuclear News, coming at you from Las Vegas, Nevada. The nuclear news cycle does not slow down, so I can't either. Let's dive through what's going on in this space. First up, price action per usual. We have year-to-date Sprott Uranium Miners ETF up 2%, so it's corrected. Sprott Junior Uranium Miners ETF up 6%, so still outperforming. And the S&P 500 up 8%. So we're back in the zone we've been in for the last 10 or so years consistently, where the market thinks it can kind of like take a breath. Maybe the supply demand fundamentals won't materialize. Maybe we can take profits in these assets. And so, per usual, we're just going to focus purely on the supply demand fundamentals of the space and the burgeoning nuclear renaissance, see if it's accelerating. Let's start with the supply of uranium. Well, the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust total pounds of uranium held by trust is at an all-time high. So they're stacking uranium, taking it off the market, making it scarcer and scarcer. Then we have left for dead uranium mines being revived as prices soar. Countries eye nuclear power to address climate change. Remember, these mines were left for dead. So what matters is, are they worth reviving? Is the underlying resource that these mines control valuable? Well, again, it all goes back to this chart. 2018 to 2040, uranium supply demand, World Nuclear Association provided this. The black line at the top is showing the demand. The bars are showing supply, and there is a huge gap in between supply and demand, right? Now, this is very hard to price in because there's nothing but air, and all industry experts agree that there is nothing but air between the uranium supply and demand out through 2040. The question is, will there be new unforeseen dynamics that shrink the gap or expand the gap? Well, let's go through the news from just this week that speaks to whether or not that demand line is a bunch of BS or not. So this is the backdrop. Amid explosive demand, America is running out of power. This speaks to electricity-hungry data centers, clean technology factories, and the need for more power. And so the AI industry is pushing a nuclear power revival. A nuclear startup backed by OpenAI chief Sam Altman wants to power data centers and homes alike. It's racing against surging demand while working to satisfy regulations. Guess how much money Sam Altman wants to raise to power the future of artificial intelligence? Well, Sam Altman seeks trillions of dollars to reshape business of chips and AI. He realizes how much capital is going to be needed to make AI a reality, and a lot of that is energy. And so clearly his choice of power for artificial intelligence is nuclear. Then we have Amazon Web Services acquiring Palin's nuclear data center campus in Pennsylvania. The cloud company pays $650 million for this nuclear data center. Amazon, OpenAI, Microsoft investing heavily into nuclear power. This is not baked in to the previous demand supply forecasts at all, period. SMRs, small modular reactors, can back up data centers' role as cornerstone for fourth industrial revolution. Does not get bigger than this, period. The energy that will run everything. So if you want to invest in artificial intelligence, probably one of the most early stage ways of playing it is buying a uranium mine, it seems, at this point. Absolutely massive. Funding bill grants $2.7 billion to American-made nuclear reactor fuels. The U.S. lawmakers continue to push out bills just supporting the nuclear industry with billions of dollars. NRC releases plan to speed nuclear reactor build out. Lawmakers have been pushing the agency to be more proactive about advanced reactors. They want to speed it up, accelerate, increase the demand for uranium exponentially. And again, industry experts don't know where supply will come from to fill that gap, period. But the demand is accelerating. Nearly a dozen US states considering coal to nuclear transitions. The 2022 report from the US Department of Energy found that more than 300 existing retired coal power plant sites could convert to nuclear, right? This hasn't happened yet, which is why the industry isn't necessarily projecting it yet. But early stage investors who stay on top of the fundamentals are fully aware of this. Pro-nuclear countries back total opening up of EU funding for nuclear, total opening up. Unleash the floodgates of capital into this space. Bruce Power issues additional $600 million in green bonds to power a clean energy future, building on its position as an industry leader in clean energy projects. Bruce Power has issued an additional $600 million in green bonds, billions of dollars streaming into this space. This comes from the Department of Energy. $8.6 billion in investments announced in U.S. nuclear manufacturing since 2021. Only one SMR certified. And so that speaks to how early we are. But if you just follow the money, it's going in one direction. And obviously, globally, mass expansion too, reversals, 180s. Young nuclear groups seek rethink on Spanish nuclear closure, a gathering in Madrid of more than 70 representatives from the European and international young nuclear networks from 27 countries heard the case put against the planned closure of this nuclear plant's Unit 1. Again, planned closures are baked into the demand forecast. Well, what happens if those reverse? Italy presses ahead with nuclear as energy transition tool after 30-plus year hiatus. Again, 180-degree shifts, moving in one direction. And if you want to look even further out, really understand where the nuclear renaissance is going, we're in the early stages of the development of revolutionary technology enabling this. Tiny nukes on trucks, sub 20 megawatt reactors to power remote areas. A small nuclear reactor that can be transported in a shipping container can bring carbon-free energy to far-off places. Radiant Nuclear is developing this portable microreactor as a potential replacement for diesel generators. So we have nuclear reactors on the back of trucks, portable. We have diesel generators being replaced by SMRs. And then Viaro Energy to explore using mini nuclear reactors to decarbonize offshore assets. Again, does not get bigger than this. We're going to have to stay on top of this market.